Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build we went video game when we built the Tomahawk from Assassin's Creed. And if you missed that build, we're going to include the link to our channel's homepage in the description below so you can go over there and check out Tomahawk or any of the other super cool builds we have there. But for this build we are going to go sci-fi. So without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. Dig it! Look at that thing, man. Wow! It is the sonic gun from Minority Report. That's right. Look at that thing, man. All steel, different colors of steel. We've got a little bit of black on here. We've got this cool shaped handle, the circular detail in the middle, and this jammin' kind of cool oval shaped barrel. And the coolest part of it, look at the end of it, man. Look at that. When steel changes color when it's heated up and it goes from yellow to red to blue, dig that, man. That is a heated up stained steel barrel. In this episode, making an EVA foam sonic gun part 1, we're going to begin going step by step through how to make it. And if you want to build along and have your very own sonic gun with a cool stained up heated barrel, we've got a template for this thing too. So we're going to include the link to our storefront in the description below, and you can go there and pick up a template if you want, or don't. Just hang out and chill, that's cool too. So, if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Alright, that's it right there. That's the entire build. There's all of our templates transferred over to foam. This should be pretty darn easy. Alright, we are going to start first by assembling what's going to be the barrel of our sonic gun. And that's going to be made up of 3 pieces of this 2-inch thick 48mm foam. Just like that. Okay, there we go. Give it a couple minutes, let it dry, and then we stick it. All right, there we go. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be wrapping this with it. All right, there we go. All right, now we're going to come in for these little details right here. All these, and we're going to use our brass tube. All right, just like that. See that? Perfect circles. Now we're just like that. All right, there's all of our holes cut out. Now, just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to recess this back from the end just a little bit like that. And so what we did was we made a mark for our new length we're going to cut this off at, which is right there. Alright, and then we're going to do a test wrap. Made our mark. Okay, that looks like that is 5 inches right on the button. And that's what we got here, 5 inches. Perfect. Slight bevel cut. Okay, there is our center mark. Alright, so we've got our center mark here and our center mark here. Alright, so we know it's going to line right up there and it's going to come around and meet up right on that side. Perfect! Alright, there we go. We're recessed back from the edge just a little bit like that. We've got our mark centered. So now we know when this wraps around, this vent is going to end up right on that back side. All right. Just like that. We want to leave it up a little bit. Just like All right. All right, once again, we see that when you do a measurement first with an extra piece of foam, and then you cut it a hair longer than you need it, and you cut a slight bevel on the end, you can pretty much get it to go right down perfectly. Just like that. Look at that. Wow, nice. All right, there we go. Cool. Look at that. That is nice. Really cool. We've got the little slight end sticking out, which is why we're going to come in now with this 24mm piece, and we are going to cut this out on the scroll saw. And then when we're done with that, we are going to transfer this pattern over to do a second cut. So let's go over to the scroll saw and cut this out. All right, there we go. We took our 24mm piece and we cut it out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with this piece of the template and we transfer our line around. All right, there we go. Look at that. We did our cut with our round corners, then we rolled it over and we cut it this way. Now this piece is going to come in and it's going to stick right on the end of our piece like that. And we're going to have this cool little recess down in here. Really nice. So we're going to slightly round this edge off with our Dremel. All right, so let's get our dust mask on. All right, there we go. Just a soft round edge. All right, now we're going to get our heat gun out and we're going to seal that up. All right, here's where you channel your inner third grader and you do your best to stay within the lines. There we go. Let's let these dry and then bam, contact. Right in place. Now we don't want to just drop it down. We want to come around to this side. Do the same thing. We want to make sure we're lining up nice. And looks like we are. There we go. Perfect. That's the way you do it. Don't rush. Don't just drop it down. Just because you trace the line doesn't mean it's going to fit right back in there. You have to put it down. Take your time. Sometimes you bend a little bit, but look at that. Bam, we nailed it. Perfectly centered this way and this way. Even amount of space around the inside. Jamming, man. That is cool. Look at that thing. We've got. All right, now we're going to come in with our next wrap. It's a 2mm. It's going to go around here next. We shorten the wrap the same distance we shortened the first one. All right, now let's do the same thing that we always do. Let's do a test wrap. All right, let's cut a piece of foam. There is our line right there. Slightly tip our knife on an angle so we have a bevel cut on the end. All right, just like that. All right, it's going to wrap around just like this. All right, now what we want to do is we want to get a center mark. Let's go ahead and transfer our line, our gluing line. All right, there we go. Look at that, nice and neat. There. And then let's line up our, all right, there we go. Our line matched there and there. Now we know we're nice and centered. All right. All right, there we go. Look at that, looking good. Now it's gonna come around. Ooh, it's gonna touch right up nice. All right, let's get the end. There we go. We've got. All right, look at that, man. That's crazy tight right there. You know, it doesn't matter if the end is too long because we're going to be making a cut on this end. All right, there we go. Now we've got our seam touched together perfectly, and now it's all stuck down to the body. All right. Holy smokes, man, look at that. great Scott, that's like, whew, seamless. All right, sweet. All right, in comes the next one, our 3mm. Same tricks. We're gonna cut off our new length so that it's exactly how long we want it, just like that. Let's find out what this measurement is. There, like that. All right, there we go. Let's double check one more time. I believe it was Henry Ford that said measure twice and you only cut once. Perfect. Measure once and you might end up cutting twice. There you go. All right, here we go. Come to our marks. Perfect. All right, we've got our center line. We've got our center line right here. We're gonna line up flush down on this back end and flush up here. And it's gonna wrap around, and look what it's gonna do. It's going to hide that wrap we just put down there. That's why we did that. That's why the length of this is shorter than the length of this, because we want this to have an overhang so that it looks like it's got a little recess down in there. Subtle little detail, but that is totally jamming. All right, there we go. Look at that, man. And then okay, we're gonna come in and we're gonna line our marks up, just like that. Now we're gonna line our mark up at the front. All right, there we go. See that? Lined up here and lined up there. And now we can anchor it. All right, there we go. We're gonna try to keep the end lined up right over here. I'm gonna keep our eye on that. There we go. Now let's do the same thing on this side. We're gonna roll it and we're gonna keep this back end lined up. And, ooh, we're gonna be spot on with our wrap too. All right, we got a good start. And now we just pinch. All right, we're gonna roll the shoulder like that just to get good contact. All right, there we go. Look at that, man. Wow. 3 wraps, okay? We did the first one here with the vent holes. We did a second one that's a little shorter than this one, so you can't see it. And the reason we did that is because when we wrapped this one, we wanted it to cast a little shadow down in here, a little overhang. Look at that, man. Wow. Cool detail. All right, now we've got all of our pieces here on this thin 2mm piece of foam. These are going to wrap around this barrel here. So we're going to easily cut these out with our X-Acto. That's it. Just keep going. Get them all cut out. All right, here we go. We've got a center line drawn here so that when we line up these marks, we know it's going to be centered. And we'll do the same thing for the bottom, and obviously the sides will go on. Okay, but now the tricky part is going to be this, is we have to cut a perfect circle here because this is going to attach to a perfect circle detail. Now we can't take our pattern like this and put it there and wrap it because what that does is distort the circle. We can't do that. So what we did was this, is we came over and we cut the perfect circle out of a piece of cardboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to be able to come in and we're going to be able to move up to right about where we want it. And then we're going to stick this down on our foam piece. That way when we come to the saw, we can use this piece of cardboard as our guide to follow so that we don't distort our circle. And it's going to be okay that we stick this down because the piece we're cutting off we're going to throw away anyway. So let's line this up, let's make our mark, and then let's glue it down so we can cut it. just like that. And this part that we cut off, we're going to throw away anyway, so it doesn't matter that we stuck it down. All right, so let's go over to the scroll saw and let's follow our cardboard around to cut out our perfect circle. Okay, there's what we did, just like that. See that? We followed our cardboard so that we know we have a perfect circle. Just like that, all right? Now we're gonna right there, and don't touch it down. Make sure we come and line the front up. Really simple now. We're not even going to get crazy. We're just going to roll it right over, just like that, and we're going to roll that right over. There we go. Trim that off right there, like that. Perfect. All right, that's nice. Circle's going to fit right in there. All right, there we go. We've got our center marks. Trim a little piece of the end off right there. We don't want it sticking out that far. And we're going to lay our front down to line up with our Sharpie mark. All right, so we're lined up. We know we're centered. There we go. Now we're going to touch it down. All right, we're a little short right here. We should have stretched it a little bit. See, that's what we always talk about. Even though we measured and even though we drew, you can't just lay it down. So we weren't careful. We lined it up here, and instead of looking and stretching to match, we didn't. But it's okay. Once we seal it with Plastidip, no one will see that Sharpie line, and because you'll never be looking at both sides at the same time, no one will really notice that. So, not the end of the world. Not. All right, now what we did right here is we came in with a pair of scissors, and these two little corners here and here, we snipped them off like that and like that on a 45-degree angle. That looks a little nicer with the 45 edge. Perfect. We're going to come in and line it up kind of back here, roughly where this circle happens at. And we want hold. There we go. Nice. All right, there we go. Our barrel is complete. All right, now we're going to come in and we're going to build our center circular section. And the bulk of it is going to be made up of these two pieces, a 24 and a 6mm. We're going to stick them together. We're going to... All right, there we go. There's our 30mm. We've got a 6 and a 24. Let's set this off to the side. All right, now let's bring this in, okay? We've got 2mm detail, and we're going to attach it to a 3. Now, we're going to cut this out, okay? We transfer our template over to here. Now we're going to cut these silver pieces out, all right? Now, these little lines in here and these dots, we're going to do something different. But for this major scrolly line bit here and here, we're going to cut that out with our X-Acto knife. All right, we're going to just stand our knife up and pivot right around our shape, just like that. All right, there's our circle in the middle. Now we've got our second circle we have to cut out. All right, same thing. All right, there we go. Perfect. There we go. That's it. Just like that. Take your time. Make sure you got a really sharp X-Acto blade, and you cut it out. Now we're going to bring it over to the 3mm piece. We're going to stick it down, and we're going to stick that down in the middle. And then all right, there we go. Okay, we don't want to stretch it. And let's get this flimsy end held up while we put it down. Okay, now we can be careful when we stick this part down. Use our X-Acto knife. Centered, there we go, look at that. Perfect. All right. Look at that. That is a tight little detail right there. Good grief, man. You gotta be careful when you're cutting, but as long as your X-Acto's sharp and you take your time, bam, there you go. All right, now we're gonna come in and we're gonna do all those steps a second time. All right, look at that. There's 2 of them. Now, all right, here we go. Got our wood burner heated up. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. There it is, just like that. 3 little holes. Then we just hold the wood burner there till it gets the size we want it, which is our Sharpie dot right there. 6 little tiny holes. That's all we needed it for. Perfect. And we're gonna literally just make a cut. We're gonna break the surface. There we go. And now we're gonna come in and we're gonna match up with that line. And we're going to break the surface to there. We're going to do all 3, just like that. And there is the 3rd one. All right, now we're going to come in with our heat gun. And we're going to open those lines up with some heat. All right, there we go. We came in, we made a slight cut around these patterns with our X-Acto knife just to break the surface. Then we heated it up with the heat gun and it caused these creases to separate. Nice. All right, and as you can tell, we transferred our outer template around, so we're going to go ahead and cut those off now. And we're going to use the bandsaw for that because we want perfectly round 90-degree edges. All right, there we go. And now we're going to come in and we're going to trim off our little frays that the bandsaw leaves on the bottom. All right, there you go. See that? There they are right there. Nice and clean now. All right, now we're going to go cut this piece out on the bandsaw. All right, there we go. Cool. Now these are going to come in and they're going to go right on the sides of this piece just like that. And we're going to leave the edge square. All right, let's tighten our foam up. I like doing this whenever I can, just to get the foam nice and smooth and tight. Touch one side down and we're going to eyeball it. Ooh, it looks pretty good. All right, so we just lined it up and stuck it down. Let's eyeball. There we go. Ooh, nice. Now this is going to come in and stick right onto here like that. All right, that's why we needed the perfectly round cut. All right. Let's give it a few minutes. In a good spot right there, right? And we want to come around. Perfect. All right. Wow. That is cool. Check it out now. As you can tell, we have a cool little recess down in here. Really nice. Man, is that cool. Wow. Jamming. All right, there you go. You saw it. Totally easy and super fun, man. We built the whole, I guess, first 2/3 of this thing. We've got the whole barrel assembly built, the cool circular detail in the middle. A lot of kind of intricate little cutting in here to get those cool recesses, but not that hard. Take your time. Since you're using thin foam, it's kind of easy. But cool the way we shaped the body and attached pieces together to get that cool round bottom and top piece. Really neat, man. A lot of nice detail in here too, where the vents are and all that. But not hard. So that was about it. That concludes making an EVA foam sonic gun part 1. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.